Hello, students. So, today we'll be talking about a very important topic that comes under the functions of management, which is staffing. So, we already had a recap before in one of the videos, pre recorded videos. So, let's just have a short recap on the same topic. So, staffing is nothing but the process of management which is more concerned with obtaining and maintaining a workforce within the company. So, what staffing does is it fills an empty organization with the right kind of people for the right job. So staffing, it is needed in both in a new and an existing organization. So staffing is a very much of a continuous process, because sometimes in some teams, say, new jobs may be created, like say in every quarter, maybe because people leave the jobs, or maybe because new requirements come up, or when the teams grow and they need more people to do the work. So in such cases, we can say that staffing is a very important function, because we need people to do the work, and not just any people, we need the right kind of people to do the right kind of job. So it has a very wide scope. Staffing itself has a very wide scope. That is, it has manpower planning, it requires recruitment, it requires selection, it requires placement, and not just, and it does not end with placements as well. It requires a lot of training and development for the employees to work according to the company standards. So why is the staffing such an important function? It helps in filling jobs with competent people. That is, like we said earlier, it helps in discovering and obtaining the right kind of people for the right job. That requires analyzing a lot of skills what each person has. Yeah. So acquiring the right kind of personnel, or say workforce, what happens is it helps the company to have a better performance for the future, and it helps ensure that the work is done on time and on an accurate basis. It helps in the survival and the growth of the business. Yeah. And also it helps in utilizing the human resources as per their skills, and also to improve and develop their skill base. So who does staffing? So if you have watched the previous video, if you're able to recall it, you might be remembering a term called human resource management. So what is the relation between staffing and human resource management? Now, human resource management is a particular skill. Okay, this skill requires the knowledge of how to procure and develop and maintain a proper workforce or employees in order to achieve the organization's goal in a very effective and an efficient manner. So, who does human resource management? There is a special designated team called the human resource department in companies, and most of the companies right now. Or, say, in cases of small companies, you have maybe just a person from each team who knows the team well to procure the right person for their team. So so that team, that particular manager knows what kind of skills it is required for that particular team, or for that vacancy in that particular team. Whereas in the case of large companies, it's it's really difficult to for every single manager of each and every team to come out and select people, or to try to procure and select people out of a huge lot into their teams. So there is a special designated team, an HR department or an HR team, to help them do this. So what does the HR do? An HR, he tries to understand how the recruitment has to be done. So he collects information from different say from the different team managers, and analyze on the basis of the skill set which all kind of personnel, or what kind of skill set, on what basis of skill set people has to be selected. Now, human resource department, do you think, is it just recruitment is their what do you call that, their process, or their the major function? Is it just recruitment and selection? No. Staffing, this entire process done by the HR, has a lot of other functions as well. It includes manpower planning, it includes training and development, it has they also have to come up with a proper salary package or a remuneration compensation plans for each and every employee on the basis of their skills. Then how to do the performance appraisal on the basis of the company standards, how to maintain employee welfare, how to maintain good labor relationships, how to handle employees' grievances and complaints, how to provide security and social welfare for the employees. All these require a special skill, right? And this is the current functional or the properties or the functions that a specialized HR team or an HR department functions. Okay, this is what they do. So like you can see in the slide, it says recruitment. Duties of an HR team include recruitment, training and development, handling grievances, compensation plans, employee welfare, and defending the company in different lawsuits. So what do you think staffing is and how does the process work? It involves estimating the manpower requirements. Each team or say in each department you need n number of say there are n number of vacancies and n number of people may be required. So how do we estimate that? So it may not be 10 people, sometimes it may go up to 15. So they need to have a proper number or an information of how much people is required for each team. On the basis of that, they try to do recruitment. So like we said, how do they estimate manpower requirements? So there are two kinds of analysis. What they do is workload analysis and workforce analysis. Now workload analysis means determining the number and types of human resources that is required to perform various tasks or jobs, right? Workforce analysis is the number and type of human resources that is available within the organization. So it's like they need to fill the gap between what is available and what is required. So this is what is called maybe like you can call them by shortage or surplus of manpower. On the basis of this is what an HR team recruits their personnel. Then recruitment itself is a separate function, and there are different arrangements which has to be made for an HR team to carry out the process of recruitment, which we will be getting along in the later videos. The next would be selection. Once and some people or say n number of people are been recruited, you need to select the right number of people for the right number of jobs. It can be one person for one job, or it can be say a pool or maybe a number of people for a particular team. It can be anything. So it can be that recruitments can happen for n number of teams on the same day. And selection also involves rejection of some candidates. So it's a huge process which involves some steps like screening and probably some written tests. It depends on the team, and it depends on the requirement of that particular vacancy. Then comes placement and orientation. So once a candidate is selected, that person will have to be placed. That is the right job for the right person. So what placement does is that it should ensure that the qualification and the qualities of or the skills of that candidate should match the job's requirements. The next is training and development. Training and development again speaks of how the selected candidates should be provided accurate knowledge or how their competency or their skill set should be improved. So this should be provided by the organization on the basis of their knowledge and skills, and on how and on to what degree this has to be improved. So again organizations once the orientation is done. So what is orientation, by the way? Orientation is nothing but introducing the new employees to the organization. So it's just to make that employee very much comfortable with the organization, so that they know each and everything out, to know the right place and the right person to contact to, basically to know about the organization and their team in particular much better and more. So we are done with training and development. Next is performance appraisal. So every company has set standards for um, how how an employee should perform, and they have some standards on how, or expected standards or outputs for each and every employee. So a performance appraisal is always conducted on the basis of that. So it's basically a systematic evaluation of an employee's performance against these standards. So these standards are predetermined. So appraisal is nothing but evaluating one person's performance. Most probably it should be for a year, and for this performance it will be compared with the standards that the organization sets, and see if there is any development or if there is any discrepancies. If at all there is any discrepancies, they will be given additional training or sometimes negative promotions. Yeah. So the next one is promotion and career planning. So say for example an employee has performed extremely well. So in order to motivate them more, sometimes companies provide promotions or different career planning so that they can improve even more, and the employees can raise their borders of performance. So this is what promotion and career planning as a function is done by the HRT. Next is again a very important topic, compensation as a process. So financial benefits again is a very important role in attracting competitors or a good standard employees. So in order to do that, compensation should be a very influenceable factor for each and every employee. So these the company, if an employee in a company, if he's not satisfied with the compensation he benefits or he reaps, it may affect his standard of performance. So in order to avoid that, different kinds of financial payments or say any new compensation plans should be revised so that it will motivate him to work more and provide better output. So this is the topic for today. So let us meet the next day for your next topic, which would be recruitment. Meanwhile, I would like you to please go through the NCERT textbook for this topic, and please come back if at all you have any doubts. Thank you so much.